Hmm. Live and red again, am I? Yep, that's normally the way I start off in red. Bad health, yep. Not many changes I can make for that because I've start off in green and go to orange, go to red, go back to green, go back to orange. I think that's normal. And I'm talking about the health of my live stream here, just so anybody knows. As I was live like immediately almost after going live. I see off the grid is here. I see you spell you the same way I do it a lot of times. It's called a typo. It looks like my spelling. Yep. Yeah, that's right. OYA. That's right. What can I say? But anyhow, I've got to, just got to talk about this, okay? So I'm going to go ahead, I gave the name of this live feed as TFL, incel, and MGTOW. Yeah, are dangerous to society. The other day I posted up a video about dangers to society. I showed you old clips from a person that was up on YouTube who attacked me, who made up a channel, didn't put their face on it, held their fingers in a pyramid position, and proceeded to talk about William Greathouse, rah, 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 and just started pulling crap out their anal, and made anything foul or anything bad that could be used against me, of course, was. I'm quite used to this because, see, my first couple of years at TFL, I was attacked on a regular basis by lots of people. I was called everything that was bad. If there's anything that's totally disgusting, bad, or foul, or somebody that people would totally hate, okay, this is what I was accused of being by people who didn't know me, people who was mad at me, okay, for speaking truth. And I got used to it. I was attacked by PUA, pickup artist industry. I was attacked by MRAers. That's right, no lying, men's right activists. I was attacked by, of course, the trolls, and I was attacked by, your normies. That's right. And then I had a few women attacking me too. Not as many women, but there was a few. You know, I promoted rape and murder and killing and all that stuff. Nope, never promoted that once. But according to the liars, I did. I've been told many times since TFL came into existence, since I gave the name, okay, that we were dangerous to society. That's why I gave the name of this video what I did. Okay. See, the manosphere in generality are dangerous to society because you're not going along with the social engineering. So really what they're saying is we're dangerous to liars and deceivers because they want to be above somebody else. We have that mentality in our society already where people want to be above other people. So that's really where that comes from. It's people just wanting to be above other people. People, it's like TFL is taboo. From the very beginning, it was considered a taboo topic. And we all know what taboo means. It's not to be talked about. It's to shh. That's right. You're to be hushed. You're not to talk about it. Never in a million years should you ever talk about it. And the only reason taboo was ever created was to hide corruption. That's all that was about. Anything that's considered taboo is hiding something. What have you got to hide? That's right. That's really what you need to think. If somebody says it's taboo, say, so what are you hiding, and look into it. Because it's hiding truth is what it's doing. That's why TFL was taboo. Because it was supposed to continue to go on and nobody was supposed to acknowledge it. It's no different than double standards. Double standards is 100% corruption. Now, I didn't have no hesitation. I showed you the red flag laws in that video where they come after guns. I pointed out the most dangerous part of that whole video was at the very beginning and how it was only brought up one time. How that somebody will make a complaint against you and say that you're dangerous to society behind your back. They will go to a court and they will make a lodge a complaint with the court. You won't be notified until after the thugs with badges have showed up at your door to take your guns. And I got thinking about that seriously because since 2006, 2007, when I started this stuff in and around that area, I've been told off and on throughout the years that I'm dangerous to society. And even like in the video I showed you, well, even if William Greathouse never does this, there's somebody that's going to listen to him that will do this. So he's encouraging violence. And then they had to go on and say how I was promoting rape of women and murder and and that none of that's true. Anybody that knows me knows that TFL's never been about any of this stuff. But this is the problem, isn't it? We have a world full of liars and people who are scared of the truth, people that don't want to acknowledge the truth and the powers to be at the top. I think when the TFL first come out, because unless you was around back in 2006, 2007, then you don't know what my first channel was, do you? So I know I've only got 4 people at this point in this live stream, according to what the numbers say, if that's correct. So out of the people that are in this live stream that are willing to type, how many of you can tell me what the name of my very first YouTube channel was? Was you around back then? Did you know I existed? See, I say that openly because the facts are the facts that my first YouTube channel was before Google had ownership of YouTube. You could only do a 10-minute video. You could go exactly 2 seconds over 10 minutes, and anything after 2 seconds over 10 minutes, the video was rejected. So you was on a fine timeline, and boy, I can remember them days. Making a video and having to watch that clock so close to not go over, you were starting all over every time. I can remember making the same video that I wanted to post up 4 or 5 times because I had to reword things or take stuff out, blah, 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 to make it fit because I only had 10 minutes. Okay, and I remember them times, and that was before Google owned YouTube. When I first gave the name True Force Loneliness, I could Google search True Force Loneliness, do every search engine on the internet. Yahoo didn't matter what it was. I tried all the search engines back then. And the term True Force Loneliness did not exist. Within 2 years from the time I gave the name, there was 11 plus million hits on True Force Loneliness. Within a year and a half, my original channel for every video I posted up before Google had it, I was hitting 10,000 plus views per video per day. And I was freaking out on the numbers because I couldn't believe that many people were actually watching. And the attacks were tremendous. I was attacked left and right every single day. I didn't go nowhere. I had a forum on the internet, okay, that were a karate forum. And I had like a group of 6 guys in that forum that kept coming over and attacking me over and over and over. And finally, after about a year and a half of them attacking me, They disappeared, and one guy from that forum come over and he left a comment, a long comment at me, and he says, even though I don't like you and I still don't like you, you've earned my respect. He says, you're like the last guy in a ring in a battle royal. He says, didn't matter what kind of shaming tactics we threw at you, you stayed standing. We watched Steve Hoka leave, we watched Dwayne Holloway leave, we watched this, we watched that, and everybody left and ran, and you were the only one still here, and you never ran. So with that, I'm going to leave you alone, and we're not ever going to bother you again, and that's exactly what happened. They never bothered me again. But see, this is all stuff, if you wasn't around back when I brought this name out, you wouldn't know about it. Okay, people wouldn't know the kind of attacks I've been through unless you was around back then. Was talking to a guy yesterday on the phone that I've had on one live stream, and I plan on coming up on another live stream, possibly this coming Saturday, with this man, David. Okay, he was around back then. He remembers my first channel. He remembers the amount of views I was getting. He remembers the attacks. He knows. He knows what I know. And I think back then, see, before Google got their hands on YouTube, I can remember this really well. Back then, it was more controversial because it was so new. TFL at the time was so new, but it took off and it went global. It went viral. It went all across the world, and I never thought in a million years it was going to do that. All I did was give a name to a problem that I saw in society and started researching to find out why the hell it was going on. And of course, since that time, with many years of research and looking and stuff, I know the cause of TFL. I know why men are living it. I know why relationships are broke up. I know what's going on. This is the reason I try to push the root cause down people's throat. And it's not to discriminate against you, it's to get you to understand why relationships are in the way they are, why there is a war between men and women, and why this is going on. Because I felt you need to know the truth to why it's going on. And of course, my goal is to try to help TFLers regardless, to be able to have a life, not guaranteeing nobody that will ever have a woman in their life. And nowadays, for a lot of guys to have a woman in your life, you better be ready for the drama. Because people do not know how to treat one another. By no means do men or women, either one, know how to treat each other. The division is off the chain. It's off the charts. Okay? And you got all these guys throwing other guys under the bus for the chance to put their, you know what, in the hole. Or want to get into a relationship, and meanwhile, they're beating themselves over the head with a hammer. Because it's like you're in a hurry to be abused. That's sort of what it's like. And you're going to say, what do I mean? Guys are in a hurry to be abused. In today's society, the majority of relationships don't last because of just that. Well, yeah, the first 3, 4, 6 months or the first year of a relationship with a female goes good. And then it all starts going downhill. And the majority of the time, it is the woman abusing the man. But of course, we're going to flip that upside down on its head. And we're going to tell you that it's the man abusing the woman. We're going to tell you that the guy just came home from work and beat the living hell out of her for no reason at all other than just he could. Now, of course, do you expect me to believe that a guy's just going to come home from work and beat the living shit out of his woman just because he can? No. That's complete BS. But that's what you get reported by media. This is what mainstream media wants you to believe. And I've seen this so many times. You know, and yes, I agree. We are forced to be alone. That's correct. You are. Because you did everything society taught you to do, right? You did everything your friends told you to do and what everybody else was doing. In 1 to 5 seconds, you was rejected. And this kept happening over and over and over. And some of these normies will tell you, that woman that rejected you, that's the one you want. That you're to continue chasing that woman. Well, that's either going to get a bunch of white knights and simps attacking you for the woman, or it's going to get the police called on you and you're going to get it for harassment. Stalking her. So I wouldn't listen to some normie that tells you when a woman's rejected you, that's the woman you want. Because they're going to lead your ass right to jail or you're going to get in trouble because they're lying to you and they know they are. But they don't care. Because it's not them. They're going to do anything to cover this up. And this is exactly what's been going on the entire time. It's covered up, covered up, covered up. But meanwhile, TFL took off, went global, and more men have come forward. I'm TFL, because they are. They're not lying to you. It's not their fault. But I was forced to give TFL 2 definitions. Because we do have a percentage of men that want to live in their bedroom and go online to find a date and never go out and live their life. You do got a percentage of men that are actually at fault for their own loneliness. Okay, so TFL, True Forced Loneliness, has 2 definitions. You have the self-produced TFLer. That's the guy who thinks they can hide in their house and somehow get a date. Okay? Then you have the true TFLer, the True Forced Loneliness man. The one that went out in society, got a job, went to school like everybody else, and took everybody's advice around them, and did everything in their power to get a date and was rejected over and over again in 1 to 5 seconds for year after year after year. And of course, you all know this tears you up from the inside out. First, it takes your self-esteem away from you. Then it causes anger, hatred, all normal human feelings. Nothing unnormal about it at all. Okay? And yes, suicide. By the time the depression's through with, you get suicide. That's right. But all of the behaviors, the feelings, and the emotions comes from normal human behavior. But then the simps and the white knights and the normies, they're going to be the first ones to point their finger at you and tell you it's your own fault. That is a complete, utter lie. The only ones that fall into the label of it's their own fault are the ones that live in their bedroom, don't leave their house, don't hold down a job, and don't go out in society and actually try. Them are the self-produced. They are at fault for their own demise. But to the rest of the TFLers, which is the normal amount of TFLers, they're actually not at fault for it. Now, can I blame a TFLer that wants to choose to go incel? Or, and I misworded that. Let me do this again. Can I blame a TFLer or an incel, that's what I meant to say, who would choose to go their own way? MGTOW. Men going their own way. Could I blame them for doing so? No, I cannot. Now, they're not going their own way by any choice now, because their choice was to meet a woman that would be their best friend, their companion, their mate, to be with for the rest of their life and to have kids and raise a family and fit into society. This was their choice until they were shoved off the ladder over and over and over and over again. Rejection hurts. You tell them, well, you got to get up and you got to man up and you got to be strong and you got to go back out there and do it again. And so that's exactly what they do. They get up, put themselves back together, and they go back out there and get shoved off the ladder again. Then they go back out there and get shoved off the ladder again. And again, and again, and again. They take everybody's advice. They'll even go to extremes and go to the pickup artist industry and pay money to get their material, and they'll go do seminars and pay big money to do a seminar to school themselves how to meet another human being. Pathetic, isn't it? That you're going to pay all that money and you're going to buy all this material to learn how to meet another human being. That when you were a little kid, you played with the little girl down the street and she played with you. When you went to school as grade schoolers, you didn't have a problem associating with the girls, and they didn't have a problem associating with you. And you didn't have to pay money to meet them. You were human beings and you were interacting normally. But as soon as you got a little older, it all changed, didn't it? Yeah. It changed because of programming, because of social engineering. That's why it changed. It's what I've told people before. If this ink pen was a pole, one side of the pole is women, like the ladies' bathroom. The other side of the pole is men, the men's bathroom. Okay? The programming was designed that programming would be directed at women and programming would be directed at men. This is the key. This is where the division came in. This is where the girls got so picky. And they did. But it's through that programming. And of course, that programming said that the man has to do all the approaching, the oppressing, and the man is the provider. That's right. He's not just a protector, he's the provider, he's the ATM. And the modeling industry and the fashion industry said that she needs to look like this and this, and the pornography industry said she needs to look like this and this. This has helped to shape your attraction from the time you was a child. This is what most people don't understand. From the time you was a little child, these are the things that shaped what you were going to consider your attraction levels. And then, of course, we even skewed it more. We got, what's your sexual value on the market? Which is social engineering. Right in your face, okay? You have turned yourself into a piece of meat on the market, the grocery store. What is your value? And you don't even know you done it. Now, I know I'm probably pissing some people off with this, saying this, but it is the God's honest truth in your face. And you didn't even know you done it. See, isn't social engineering brainwashing of whole societies? Isn't it wonderful? How it's completely destroyed us all because we didn't have the ability when we grew up to stop, back up, rethink. I see my man's in here. Yes, sirree. When in doubt, I'm happy to see you in here. That's right. Now, to all the TFLers, I want you to pay attention to that man right there. Seriously, I want you to pay attention to this man right here. He's got a lot of very valuable stuff that I think that might help you, but it's going to take you work. Okay? It's not going to be easy to do. But if you can accomplish what this man's talking about, you will become stronger. You will take that depression and you will get rid of it. You know that depression that drove you to suicide? You know that depression that keeps you thinking about, I gotta have a woman, I gotta have a mate, I gotta have a woman, I gotta have a mate, I gotta have a woman, I gotta have a mate. You know that depression is tearing you up, eating you up on the inside and destroying you? Because, see, women ain't all they're cut out to be. We have the social engineering, like I told you, okay? And it's been deliberately done. You get in a relationship with a woman in today's society is sort of like beating beating your head against a wall, or taking a baseball bat and smashing your own head with a baseball bat. It's like you're in a hurry to be abused because nobody knows how to treat one another, and this is the crux of the problem, is we don't know how to treat one another. We don't recognize right from wrong. You don't recognize that you was born alone, you will die alone, and that your happiness does not come from having a mate in your life, that your happiness comes from within. And you have to first be able to make yourself happy. And you can't think that somehow, if you have a woman in your life, it's going to make all of your problems go away. It's going to take all your depression away, because that is so far off cue, it's not even funny. Now, you've heard me say a couple of times about MGTOW, who is now in this live feed, and I've told you that this guy has a great message, that I stand by him. He wants the same thing I want. He wants to help the TFLers and the incel. He's give incel the name of wincel. I laugh at that, but I like it. Okay, I really do. I like it. But his message is strong, and when I've tried to give TFLers sound advice in many different ways over the entire time I've done this, but everybody thinks I have this magical cure for what I did not create. The magical cure doesn't exist, because the social engineering, the division, the war upon men and women was deliberately done. It wasn't an accident. But MGTOW, without doubt, his advice, what he's telling you, is so true. And this is no lie. This is fact. It's so true. And it's going to take work, of course. You got to understand this. But if you could do what this man's telling you, I plan on having this man on a live feed. I really do. I never got an email from him the other day. I've checked my email and nothing ever came through, so I don't know if you didn't get it, if you didn't type or whatever. But I want to bring this man on a live feed with me, and I want to do a live feed with just him and I. And I want you people to understand what he's telling you, especially you incels and the TFLers. Okay? And then you need to work on yourselves, because I cannot change the situation in society. Okay? You're not going to change your situation neither. The best change you could ever have for your situation would be this guy right here. I'm going to get this email, and I'm going to put it in a text form so I can have it after I do this live feed, okay? and then I'm going to send you an email, and we'll try it that way because I never got nothing from you. But this guy right here is very important to hear his message. You know, without knowing this guy, I shit tested him the first time, the first show, without trying to run him off because I wanted to see where he came from. And he turned that shit test around and he showed me who he was, and he impressed the living hell out of me. He really did. This guy's got one of the best messages I've heard in a long time. And what he's pushing for is the same thing I've been pushing for a long time now. Now, I've told everybody I would love to see the manosphere come together by the end of 2019. I've also told people I don't think it'll happen. But boy, I'd love to see it happen. And guess what? This man wants the same thing I want. He wants the manosphere brought together. Just like I do. He wants to help you just like I do. He wants to be able to help lift that stress off your shoulders so that the suicide rate amongst men will go down, and so that you can become strong enough to live your life and be yourself and be who you are. You know, the way we treat each other has all been socially engineered, and the only way we could ever turn that around is on an individual basis. And that individual basis has to be through you people recognizing right from wrong, being able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Think about how they would feel if something was done unto you. How you would feel if something bad was done unto you, so that you can practice doing right unto others. Never do something unto somebody else that you're not willing to have done unto yourself. It's just simple as putting yourself in somebody else's shoes and recognizing right from wrong. That it's not a game. What mainstream media tells you and PUA industry tells you, the word game, G-A-M-E, it's not a game. It's not a sport. It's not an arena. No other human being's feelings and emotions is a game to be toyed with. It's not an arena. And I want to see that mentality stopped. And this victim status, the victim card, you want to be the perpetrator and victimize somebody else and then play the victim role for the person you victimized. And this is going on every day in this society. And it needs to come to a stop. And in the manosphere, the common denominator, as I've told everybody so many times, is I don't care what title you're flying under. Whether you're flying under MGTOW monk, TFL, incel, love shy, it just does not matter. Because the problems that incels complaining about, that TFL's complaining about, that men going their own way complaining about, the MGTOW monks are complaining about, the common denominator is even MRA, men's right activists. The problems are all pretty much the same problems. They really are. And why we're all fighting one another is just insanity. When we should be working together. And we shouldn't be slamming each other down. You can't sit and blame a TFLer who's TFL that went out and did everything society told him to, and sit there and keep slamming them and telling them it's their own fault. When it's been socially engineered, it's not their fault. The only ones that are at fault are the ones that are self-produced. That's the reason there's two definitions. Okay, you can slam the person who stays home in their bedroom, won't get a job, and won't help themselves. But even with MGTOW and Doubt's idea, it's still going to take self-responsibility. And it's going to take self-work. But it's the same thing as recognizing right from wrong and doing unto others as you want done unto yourself. You have to check yourself. And you have to start recognizing right from wrong. And you have to try to change the programming that society's put in you to better yourself and to better yourself for everybody around you. You're not going to turn the situation around amongst the genders until on an individual basis people could do this. I'm not going to talk too much about when in doubt MGTOW's idea because I want him to tell you. I really do. I want to schedule a time and I want to do a live stream with him and I want to do it over here if possible. Okay? Because I want you to understand and I want you to hear it from him. And I want to break this down to where maybe he can get you or I can get you, we both can get you to really understand what he's talking about and how this will really help you. Because I do believe his advice, what he's telling you, is so correct that if you could do this for yourself, it's going to remove a gigantic chip, a gigantic weight that's been holding you down. It's going to remove a lot of stress off the true force loneliness guys and the incel guys. And it's going to allow them to actually feel better inside and become stronger. And to be able to live their lives. Without all that stress, without all that hurt, without all that anger. I will never ever blame a TFL or an incel guy who becomes bitter and hateful and angry at the woman. Okay? I'm not going to blame them for something that social engineering has done. But you have to understand, when I told you the poll, one side is programming for men and one side is programming for women, is 100% true. And through that programming for women, it's also destroyed women. It really has. And women's destroyed men. It was deliberately done. It was to break up the genders. It was to cause a war between the genders and break down the family unit. And to break down morals of society. That's what all of this was originally about to begin with. And they've done a wonderful, wonderful job. This is the reason it's understanding the root cause of where these problems come from. To me, you must be able to do. And then once you can understand where it comes from, then you can at least understand how, for the men who've done everything society has told them, how it's really not their fault. For the men who got into toxic relationships, how that relationship escalated and you destroyed one another, then you can understand at least where it came from. Okay, once you got that understanding, then if you can do what when in doubt MGTOW says, his idea, if we can practice that, it's going to help you. It really is. And it's going to make you stronger. I started this live stream telling you about when I first came online back in 2006, 2007 with True Force Loneliness. I wasn't lying to you. That's the reason I said I'm looking to do another live stream with David. Because I want you to understand that there's no lying. I don't come up here and lie to people, and I don't sugarcoat a damn thing. I tell you just the way it is, okay? I always have. I make a lot of enemies doing this, and I make a lot of friends doing this. But my enemies are the people who are deceivers or in denial or liars. People who are actually honest ain't my enemies. Because they know what I'm talking about. And I'm sure they're making their own enemies along the way because they're real. That's the one thing that's hard in today's society is when you're real. See, even when in doubt MGTOW, he's going to bump a lot of heads along the way of what he's trying to do because you know why? He's real. And he's actually really cares and is trying to help people and he's trying to do the right thing. And he's got one of the greatest ideas I've heard in a long time that I really believe will help people. So, but even he's going to go through attacks. But guess what? I haven't been doing this all these years and I'm still here right now because they was able to shut me up. Because they was able to run me off. No, you got to have tough skin. You really do. And his advice and what he's going to be telling you about, I really think you should go to his channel and listen to what he has to offer you. I told you I'm going to make sure that him and I have a live stream together for Incel and TFL. And we're going to try to give you some advice that's just going to take you self-work, but that's going to help you to become strong. And it's going to lift that stress off your shoulders if you can do it. See, I'm still here because I have the ability to be strong, and you can't hurt me with words. You can hurl all the insults at me you want. You can make up whatever BS you want, and you're not going to tear me down or hurt me. You're not going to scare me off. You're not going to shut me up. People have tried this for years. That's the reason I put up that video with that gal that you saw holding her hand in the pyramid position saying all that foul shit. Okay? And then making that song up after I busted her and singing that song to me. That's the reason I put that in that video. And I just see, this is right here. Remember I just said he calls incel wincel? I love it. I got nothing against what he's doing at all. When he changed the name of incel to wincel, I have to say, man, I love it. I do. And I'm just telling you how I feel. I love it. I think that's a much better name for it because it's going to help to set your mind, your consciousness to where it needs to be. And it's going to help to make you strong. Okay? My only controversy I ever had with incel is people confused it with sex and thought they were just men that wanted to get sex. And true TFLers didn't want just sex. Sex was last on the list. True TFLers wanted companionship. They wanted their best friend. They wanted their mate, their companion. Somebody to settle down with and have kids with and raise their children and to wake up next to, their companion. I totally understood them. It wasn't about sex. Okay, it wasn't sex. If you want sex, you can go get yourself a call girl, a prostitute. And I'm sure there's lots of women out there that just like to hook up that don't want anything serious. You know, but TFLers didn't want that. Most TFLers can't even get that anyhow unless they went out and paid a prostitute because they're rejected for what they want in 1 to 5 seconds. But that's social engineering, and it really is. That's the reason I give you what I'm telling you, because I've got my homework behind me. I've done this for years. I'm not a spring chicken. I see in my face what's really going on and what's caused our problems. Okay, and we cannot turn around what's already been done without numbers on massive scales. And that is never going to happen until people on an individual basis can ditch the programming, recognize right from wrong, and start doing unto others what they want done unto themselves. And that sure ain't going to be easy because that's a lot of self-work itself now, isn't it? So see, when in doubt, MGTOW here, his idea is going to also take self-discipline. It's going to take self-work. It really is. But his idea is a great one. It's a great one. And he never promised you it's going to be easy, okay? But you can do it. You really can. You can do it. And you need to do it for yourself. Not for me and not for when in doubt, but for yourself. Okay, that's really where this needs to come from. You know, I'm impressed. I'm happy that he's in this chat, that he's seeing this. because I say it as it is. You know me, I always have. Now, the reason I gave the name to this live stream is TFL, incel, MGTOW are dangerous to society is because of what's been hurled at me over the years. Is exactly that. Your normies, people in higher political positions, want society to believe that you are dangerous to society. And if they can label a mental illness to you, they'll do it in a heartbeat so they can strip your rights to have guns away from you. Now, you know, the sad thing is the George Sidini incident is quite real. And that was a true TFLer. Depression got the best of him. Anger got the best of him. He lost his mind. And he did something that I never ever condoned. And I don't want to see anybody do. No more than I want to see a person kill themselves from this. I don't want you going out shooting and hurting other people because of this. I can understand how it can lead to that, though. I don't condone it. That's another reason what made when in doubt this idea is also such a great idea, because you need to understand this. George Sidini didn't have to happen. Tony Powell, Agent McGow, I don't know how many of you were around for that. That was a real incident as well. Didn't have to happen if we would have been there for them. To support Tony Dow, Agent McGow would still be alive. But we didn't support him, did we? No, you know what I watched happen? When he come up on YouTube and was all depressed and complaining about he couldn't get a woman in his life and he was going to kill himself, stupid trolls come along and encouraged him to kill himself. No lie, I was there. I witnessed it, seen it with my own eyes. Okay? Just like with George Sidini, mainstream media took the man's actual words and flipped them upside down on their head and painted TFLers out to be dangerous to society. The red flag laws they're using to take your guns are based on false flags that never took place. Shootings that never occurred that were exercise drills by freaking FEMA in your government. That's no lie, that's factual. And it was used to pass laws to create mental health bills to take guns. Steve Holka being pushed into the Huffington Post with the incel guy over in Canada, that was no accident. That was deliberately done. So you need to understand that. What mental health bills they may be able to come up with, push on us, I don't know, but I do know they're after your guns. Okay? And I know you're going to think that's off topic, but in reality, it's not off topic, because the people who's doing all this, that created all this, that's running our world, are the people that's responsible for the shape that we're in and the way we behave and how we treat each other and the destruction of the dating scene and the war between men and women and everything that's going on. They are the people responsible for this through social engineering that started before I was born. I can take you back to the 70s even with TFL. And people don't want to think so, but it's true. And I'm going to bring David on this show so I can show you this and talk about this so that you can understand how far back this goes, because this has all been socially engineered. And then I'm going to, and I want to do a show with When in Doubt MGTOW, because this man is going to be critical to you being able to make yourself happy again and become strong and not be torn down by TFL or incel, which he's going to call Wincel. And I'm going to wind up going along with him because I love it. Okay? Incel equals win cell. I would go with that first. Incel equals win, W-I-N, cell. Yes. And I'm going to say it that way because I agree with him. See, so it's never been about hurting people, but it's about finding solutions in an evil, sick world that's been socially engineered to be able to live your life, be yourself, and not let other people destroy your life or tear you down. Not let the thought of some woman's going to make you happy, because it's not going to give you happiness. Your happiness is going to come from within yourself, and her happiness is going to come from within herself. And a successful relationship is only going to be successful when both people know what the hell they're doing. And I'll tell you what, the majority of people in today's society do not know what they are doing. They want to believe they know, but they don't know. And I don't like being that way, but it is God's honest truth. And I'm not being religious with this because I'm not a religious person, but it is the cold truth in your face. Because the relationship takes 50-50 across the board between man and woman working together. Because if the man and woman cannot get along and work together, then it's going to fail. If it's based on materialistic items, it's going to fail. If it's based on drama, it's going to fail. If it's based on game, which is deception and lies, it's going to fail. If you go where society preaches to you in a relationship in today's society, your relationship will not last. It's going to fail. That's exactly correct. One more time, I told you I love this man. He's so spot on. This guy's got his stuff together. Okay? I've told people they don't even know what love is. They have no idea. You're correct. Most people have no idea what true love is or how to get real love. Okay? They have no idea. Oh, they think they know. Love isn't sex at all. Never has been, never will be. True love can only be accomplished between a man and a woman who could first become friends, and then it's still not guaranteed. True love is a natural emotion that will happen between a man and a woman that become friends, that hang out and enjoy each other's company, who make each other laugh, who do for each other. That's right. Who become best friends, and true love only happens through time. And sometimes you can fall in love with somebody, real love, and they don't fall in love with you. That's the sad thing about it. But when true love really happens between a couple, you both will know it. You will know it deep inside you. But in today's society, you're not going to find true love because nobody knows what they're doing. It's like finding a dinosaur egg or finding a little dinky bobby pin in the world's largest haystack. No lie. So when in doubt, MGTOW ask everyone what love is. Okay? Find that most have no idea. He's correct. Most people have no idea. Some people don't even think real love exists. They'll tell you it don't exist. I've heard this. I really have. And they're wrong. Real love does exist. Yeah, that's the other one. The illusion is over. Like finding a politician who doesn't lie. Good luck on that one. People just, unfortunately, you grew up in a world that was socially engineered, and it was for divide and conquer. The feminist movement was never no accident. There was lies dropped into the feminist movement that caused the outrage of women. Truth wasn't told because it was designed to divide the genders. Just like the family court, no fault divorce, was designed to destroy the man and divide the genders. Male bashing on your television set 365 days a year, deliberately done. No accident. See, there's so much wrong, so much evil, just like with double standards between the genders. And the white knights and simps who back these double standards up, who will throw their best friend under a bus in front of a train just for the privilege of putting their you know what, you know where, without a second thought. Women who will use you just to get their wants and throw you away like a hamburger. Okay? Putting values, what's your value on the sexual market, on the marketplace? What's your value in the dating scene, on the market? And then I think about that and I realize that's social engineering. Your value on the market? You're a human being. You're not a piece of meat. You're not a value in a market. Okay? It's no different than game. Another human being's emotions and feelings isn't a game. A man isn't an ATM. It's all been socially engineered to do exactly what it's done. And like I told you, I'm 58 years old and this stuff started before I was born. No lie, this stuff was going on before I was born. That's how many years they've been working on this. See, social engineering doesn't happen overnight. You can change, these people understand human. They understand the human brain, they understand human consciousness, and they know how to brainwash an entire society. They have it down to an art and a skill. And it's done in baby steps. Little baby steps throughout decade to decade, from generation to next generation to next generation, until the final result is where they want it. Today's society is a product of 50 years of social engineering. No lie. The outcome in today's society is from 50 years plus of social engineering. And I'll say plus. There's not an accident that history always replays itself. If you go back 70, 80 to 90 years, go back 100 years. And if you really want a lesson, go back 200 years and watch what happened over 200 years. And you'll see the same things happen to a society 100 years ago that's happening right now. That's not no accident. That was deliberately done. They understand that the majority of people that live through this social engineering will be dead before they start all over again. This way, the new society doesn't pick up on what's going on. There won't be enough people alive to tell the young what took place. These are long-term agendas. The people that are running this planet have been running this planet for hundreds of years and passing it down to their children, to the next set of children, the next set of children, and conditioning them their whole life to be in this position and to continue what they're doing. It's not an accident. And I know people don't want to hear this because they say it's a conspiracy theory. No, it's factual truth. But that's probably deeper than most of you want to hear. So I'll jump back onto the dating scene topic but to understand the root cause is probably the most important part. It really is, because once you can understand the root cause of where these problems come from, then you at least have an understanding of where they come from so that you can alleviate yourself on how, for a lot of men, it's not their fault. Then when another guy comes up and says it's your own fault, you can blow them off, not let them affect you. And then you can practice what MGTOW words, his message is. I would encourage you to go to his channel, subscribe to him, keep track of what he's talking about. I'm going to set up a live feed with him, and we are going to do a live feed, and I'm going to hopefully through that live feed between him and I, we'll be able to get a lot of TFLers and wincel, as he wants to call them, incels, wincels, and TFLers aboard to understand what the message is. And if we can do that, and then people can take the time that it's going to need and the work on your own self that it's going to need, you'll be able to become stronger. You'll become stronger yourself. You'll remove that stress off your shoulders. As I've already know, I sound like a broken record, but you need to understand that this man's advice, what this man is talking about, he's got something very valuable. He really does. I've given you all the advice I could from my heart over the years to try to help you to alleviate that stress off your shoulders. Now we're going to go down this road with this guy because his message is very strong. Yes, it's going to take self-work, but you're going to have to do that self-work if you want to take that stress off your shoulders. You don't want to live the rest of your life because you can't get a woman in your life in depression, miserable, unhappy, and not able to be happy for yourself and live on your life. You need to be able to be happy for yourself. Because it doesn't matter what anybody says. We all came into this world alone. We're going to die out of this world alone. Your true happiness comes from within you, not from somebody being in your life. Somebody being in your life can make your life happy, yes. But they can also make your life a living hell. You better remember that. That's fact. And in today's society, most of the people that are in relationships wind up living hell. Just to go back out there and repeat it again. I don't know. Do you like being abused? What, you like hitting yourself in the head with a hammer? Really? I mean, think about it. So that's really where it comes from. So, I wanted to get up here today and I wanted to talk about this a little bit. And I was so happy to see this man show up in the live feed today. I thank him for that. I really do. And yes, I want to set a time up. I want to set a time up, a date up. Right there with this man right here. Exactly. And that's my point, is right here. So this Saturday, if I can work it out, I'm going to be doing a live feed with David. And I don't know when in doubt, with MGTOW, he's going to have time. But I want to set a date and a time or whatever date up with him to where we can come up over here live. And I want to set the date up so I can put a video up so that TFLers have a chance to see it and incel guys have a chance to see it so that they can show up for that live feed. Because I think it's critical that as many of these guys as we can get to hear, when in doubt, MGTOW's message. I think that's very, very, very important. I really do. So that's going to be my goal. So you know where I'm going here. I'm going to try for this Saturday with David to do a live feed with David. And then I want to set something up with him with When in Doubt MGTOW so that we can do a live feed together. And I want to put a video out for date that we're going to do that together in a time so that we can have people have a chance to see it so that TFLers and incel guys can be present to listen to it. And then I want to come live with this man. And then I want you to take everything that this man tells you seriously. And I want you to understand that yes, it's going to take self-work on yourself. Okay, but there's nothing easy in life. Anybody that gets strong through living gets strong through learning, through schooling themselves knowledge, and through practicing and trying and trial and error and knowing. And this man's message is strong and it will take self-work to get it done, but you can do it. I've been up here a lot of years fighting. I've been attacked in every way possible. I've been called every foul thing there is, and I never once ran. I never once stopped. I've taken breaks along the way, but I never stopped and I never gave up on men. I can't because I care. Okay, I really do. It's because I care. So until my deathbed, this is what I'll be doing, is fighting back against corruption and helping as many men as I can to become strong for themselves, to be able to carry themselves through life like When in Doubt MGTOW does. Because it's important that you're able to do that. It's important to understand where your real happiness is going to come from so that you can lift that chip off your shoulders. Because it is so true that the TFLer that listened to everything society told them goes through life being rejected over and over, being pushed off that ladder over and over. And then their self-esteem goes down, the anger sets in, the bitter and the hate sets in, and it spirals downhill from there to suicide, to George Sidini's. And I'm not going to say Elliot Rogers because that was phony, that was fraudulent. Elliot Rogers was an actor. Elliot Rogers is not real. That is an actor straight out of Hollywood. No lie. Fact. With that being said, I'm going to get on out of here. And I'm going to go ahead and send an email off to When in Doubt over there so that he gets the email. Then he can answer me back so I know that we've actually contacted each other in email. And I'm going to share some personal information with him so him and I can talk personally. That way we can set a date up to come up live and try to help people. Okay, that's really what it's about. And try to get his idea launched and off the ground because it needs to happen. And with that being said, guys, I'm going to get on out of here. And with that, you all have a good one.